Hi there. Another pattern that I would like to reflect on together is around facilitating sameness and difference. This reflection comes from a recent course that I've been a part of with the School for Systems Change. And yeah, we talked about how do we cater for both a level of sort of safety and sameness and that there's understanding in a group, but also that we don't tip over into like we're believing that we all think the same, or maybe the voices of difference are actually sort of hiding in the crowd, but also how do we highlight the voices of difference, sort of finding a constructive balance between the integration and harmony, or yeah, trust and understanding of the group, and also being able to like spot the differences and use them constructively, because oftentimes it's the differences that drive the constructive change in a system. And to make it very practical, we reflected on sort of what's our maybe preference, but also what could be skills that we can practice as facilitators when we have groups that, for example, need more sameness. So reflecting back to the group what we have heard, asking for like validating questions. So basically giving empathy and asking into what participants are saying. So yeah, drawing out what there already is being shared, but then also zooming out and yeah, naming differences that we might perceive or that we might find curious or irritating, but also asking specific people into, hey, what do you think, or what do you think, and making sure that really everyone is heard, and sort of the voices that maybe typically don't speak up get specifically addressed. And also to ask, like, is there someone who thinks about this differently, or maybe using some visualization exercises to show spectra where people are at. Yeah, so not falling into the trap that like because something doesn't come up automatically, yeah, assuming that there are not any differences. So actually looking for the yeah, looking for the constructive differences. And then the last one here about heightening the difference, I think is interesting also about like asking as a facilitator, like, what if we're wrong, or what would speak against this? Sort of also by the way we prompt and phrase questions, we can bring out different way of thinking so that we don't yeah, follow sort of the immediate consensus, but that we actually probe in different directions. And that's one of the key jobs as a facilitator, to like bring the group where it typically would not naturally go, the patterns that are already there. Yep, that's a piece of my 2 cents on reflecting about sameness and difference. It's not that I'm succeeding to like bring it into every meeting or workshop, far from that, but there's like sort of a little seed in my mind that keeps growing about, okay, so how do I spot where I need to step in as a facilitator, and especially heighten the difference in cultures that can be more consensus driven. And then opposite, of course, like if I'm in a very sort of conflicted and very strong opinionated setting, how can I actually bring together the sameness and the cohesion, my role as a facilitator. Thanks for now, and see you in the next one.